to get stuff going here, and a little bit behind the 8-ball. Had more internet problems, so I had to change locations. But right now I'm just trying to get the Instagram stuff going here, and after that we'll be going here in like 10 seconds. So today we're just going to be tying. Apologize, I'm super hot. It's like 100 degrees out and ready, and I just had to run. So tonight we're going to be tying some a caddis pattern and a cool stonefly pattern, and I'll get your guys' chat going here in a second. So yeah, we pulled a quick audible, move locations, and we're now at a new remote location. Seems like people are having a little bit of trouble. There we go. Me. So let's see here what we can get going. Alrighty. So not really sure what's happening here. Let's get out of this. Okay. Alrighty, so we're tying the Jiggable Caddis, and we're also going to be tying some other stuff. And alright, cool. There we go. We're now live. Double live. My phone's dinging. I apologize. Apologize for this whole shenanigans and 2 minutes wasted. Promise it'll be kind of worth it. As you can see, I'm totally undoing everything inside of my box right now. And bringing it up onto the table because I got here with like 10 minutes to spare when my internet died. So tonight we're going to start out by tying the Jiggable Caddis, and that hook's going to be a Daiichi 4640. Hopefully you guys can all see that, and we'll zoom in on the vise here best I can as usual. Let's see here. Alrighty. So it's a little rough just because I didn't get to completely set up my area, but that's okay. And let's see. Kind of having some issues seeing you guys on the chat for some reason, but we'll open that up here and see what goes down. There we are. I'm going to make sure this is off, and we'll open up the chat. Perfect. Alrighty. So we're going to start off with a Insta Jig bead, and I will adjust this here. I apologize, guys. There we go. That should be as close as possible. And we're going to go with just, not an Insta Jig bead, I apologize. Just a tungsten, slotted tungsten bead for this guy. For some reason, comments are not popping up, but that's okay. Oops. If I drop the bead, I apologize. Dig this bead back out here. Here we go. Perfect. Alrighty. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start this off with, let's see if we can't get a little bit tighter up here too. I apologize, guys, I got to move around a bunch, but I'm trying my darndest this evening. and it does not want to focus. We might have to do a shirt spin around and see if we can't get this to focus down in here. I love all the emails. I don't know what the let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this for a second. If you guys are commenting on Insta, I apologize. They're not coming through on my stream, so I'll just apologize in advance for that. And so first off, we're going to take some polar flash chenille, and we're going to tie this in. And I double it over. And next up, I'm going to take some olive super floss, and we're going to kind of do the same thing with that. And all we do here is just really simply, we're going to palmer a body out of this. These are really easy flies, so you can pretty much get them dialed in for your box. They're kind of box fillers. You can see I kind of start haphazardly creating a thicker body. I do like a little bit of thickness to the body here. Whoop. One thing you don't want to do is lose the edge of your super floss. So once we get there, we'll go ahead and tag that in. And I go back and forward, so when I lock it in, it's like 100% locked down. We're just going to simply pull this crystal flash and just kind of create this gas bubble effect like a caddis would have. And next up, we're going to go ahead and coat it up with some flow. I'm going to have to open up my bottle here. I kind of drove around town with it, I think, and got a little bit of too much flow out in the sun there. So I'm just going to take a little bit, coat that body up, and we'll go ahead and cure it. Hey Ed, what's up, man? Dennis, how's it going? Richard, what's going on? Welcome. I might have to switch my shirt around. It might make it look a little better. Not sure. I may do a real quick shirt flip around to backwards here. Try not to scare you guys. That way it'll just focus in a little bit tighter. So I'll tie these guys in. Ooh, that's not any better. Told you I was running and sweating. Had to, like I said, change my area. So I'll tie these in, olives, tans, like a bright green as far as the super floss goes. Just any number of colors. I introduced just a little bit of ice dub, and this is ice dub chartreuse. Sorry about the lighting tonight. I didn't steal all my studio lights when I had to quickly change venues. It didn't work out to my advantage. I have all these cool portable, like little Litra lights that I like to use, and yeah, I forgot those. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it. Good having you on here. So next up, I'm just going to take the tiniest, and I'll zoom in just a bit more and see if we can get this. Oh, there's a point there. I don't know why it doesn't want to zoom super close this evening, but we'll work with it. There we go. I just have to sit back. So I'm just going to take, those are all really too small. Nice. Nice, Eugene. So I just take a little partridge feather. This one I dyed kind of this rusty brown color. And we're going to use that. You could also substitute this for, you know, like a CDC if you wanted to. Just would be a really good natural substitute. So I'm just going to take not too much of a wrap. So you really don't want that much collar here. You want it to be kind of buggy. And this fly has been particularly effective for me lately in a cinnamon color with a, you know, kind of the same thing. Sub in a little bit of cinnamon ice dub and some brown ice dub for the face there. So you can see you get this cool little buggy profile going on, and that's going to really create a cool fly. Now I know I said I use ice dub, creepy crawly, and black. I spun some monstrous dubbing brushes with it for a project, so I'm just going to use peacock black. Any black dubbing is really going to work about the same. And so I'll just create just a nice little small collar there, and I'll wrap forward. So you can see you get this overall really bright, shiny, jiggable caddis. Hey Bob, thanks. Yeah, I think I clicked the wrong button because I was in a rush. I'll probably tie a couple of these just to show you guys a little bit of variation. Olive and a bright green one, because they're really quick flies, and you know, I want you guys to feel like you're getting your money's worth here. So this is some bronze mallard flank, and I'm just going to separate these guys out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place these right on top, and just some soft wraps to secure it in. So you can see you're going to get this really big kind of antenna looking creature coming off of there. Who makes the super floss? Ed, I couldn't tell you. A lot of it is, it's not all super floss that I have. I kind of work out of, you know, 10 years worth of tying. I have a lot of Life Flex and a lot of actual super floss from, it was from Spirit River, but it's now with Hairline. So it's kind of just an olive. So what I do is I just bring in a little bit more of that ice dub, and we'll go ahead and whip finish. Sorry about the squeak. I'm sure I have enough moisture on my nose after running around in the heat out there to get rid of that. I have bright green one too. Bright green kind of pops well. And the squeak will be gone. So with the green caddis, I prefer to tie them a little bit smaller. And that's just a personal thing for me. But you guys can see that there. Pretty buggy little pattern. Works really well. Change, you know, the jig head to get down further if you want to get lower in the water column. So for this green guy, I'm just going to tie him a little bit smaller, a little bit more of a wee caddis. If I was Davey McPhail. Actually, you know what? I got a hook all rigged up right here, so it'll just kind of go the same way. I know the beginning of this was a little bit choppy, so I apologize. And it's a little bit darker than I normally expect. So like I said, we're going to use this bright green super floss this time. And That's a really good early spring color. You know, kind of fades into olives and cinnamons. There, there can be multiple caddis hatches going on. All of the time. I think there's like 3 hatching on the lower sack right now. So I've been kind of throwing black, olive, and cinnamon with, I would say, equal success on each. And the cool thing is over time, I mean, as you go to shops, there's going to be different colors and different dye lots of superfloss, so you can kind of just collect and go. Whoop. That is what happens when you let go of superfloss. Sorry if my phone forgot to turn off the ringer, so if it keeps beeping, I apologize. But you can see this makes some of the best bodies ever. Some of my favorite mayflies are made with this material. It's just easy, it's durable, it's cheap. I mean, between like Life Flex and the actual Superfloss brand, and gosh, there's probably even more you can create. I don't even know if that looks that much different than the last one, so I apologize, but it's definitely, I'll show you, it's a whole bunch different as far as the shade goes. I just don't think my current lighting is going to be doing it justice. So kind of like last time, I'll lock it in. And you can change the size of like your thorax and abdomen, kind of just to fit your needs for your size of bugs. I'll tie these down to like a size 18. Haven't tried a 20, but I'm sure it would work. I have like a shoe tub, and it's just filled with Superfloss, and I just use that as a generic term, even though a lot of it's like Life Flex and other various brands from, throughout tying history. You can see here's a chunk of my cinnamon that I use. So, and again, I'm just going to use this ice dub and chartreuse. I just created just a cool little collar. There's a lot of flash obviously from that polar chenille, and it's a little bit different. This polar chenille has like kind of a blue, purple, and chromatic effect to it, so I really enjoy that material. Just seems to make a good bit of difference to me. Do I ever swing these down and across? Great question. They do definitely work when swung, and they stay out of the rocks. So if you're fishing a little bit heavier of it, like, if you're fishing like an extra fast sink polyleader or something similar to that, then you're going to get these guys down on the bottom, and they will definitely swing just fine. You could tie a swing version of it as well with a straight eye if you wanted to. But I swing stuff on jigs all the time. I don't find that it really matters. Kind of just throw whatever I have tied in the box. We'll go a little sparser with this guy. So let's do about 1 wrap. And again, for anybody who just tuned in on Insta, I'm sorry, comments are not popping up for some reason, and so I'm not trying to be rude and ignore you. I'm just not seeing what you're saying. So again, I'll just I made this guy a little bit smaller, same size hook. I just made the body just a touch smaller. And again, we'll introduce some bronze mallard. I'm going to be in big trouble. I just think I dropped my body material for the next fly. But we'll figure it out. We'll make do, so I'm going to apologize for that in advance. It must have fallen out in my car. I'm a train wreck today. Pretty much been on the road since March 17th, so it's been a busy spring. Yeah, Superfloss, Larvalase. I mean, it seems like every brand kind of has their own. Um, my local fly shop carries Superfloss and uh, Lifeflex, and they just cherry pick the colorways that they want. So that's typically what I have, unless I come up on something really, really cool during my travels. So if you space it like I did, you can always come back in here at the end and go ahead and coat that body. Just be mindful. If you get it a little bit into the it is cool stuff, Bob. I agree. If you get it a little bit into the dubbing, it's totally okay as well. It's not going to totally break the bank and beat you up a bit. So, all right. So there's a couple. And I'll show you guys the difference here in this Superfloss color. I'm not sure. There we go. Let's squeeze them together. So this is the first color that I tied with, and here's the second, just showing you just kind of the variance between the two. So for the stone, I'm going to have to substitute some Superfloss in there and some brown tubing, so I apologize. I literally picked up a pack of dubbing out of my back pocket. So, alrighty. So the picture that was up there was not truly representational of the fly that we're tying. I also have materials down here on the bottom. Typically, the box doesn't typically. So there's a few ways you can go about tying this fly, and I'm going to tie it a little bit bigger. This is a curved hook, so I apologize. Kind of just grabbed stuff and bailed out. But it's a pretty cool hook. Let me see. I'm going to zoom out just a bit on the other camera. There we go. So this guy's heavy. This is I got asked to tie flies for runoff, and this is about as close to a runoff fly as I can tie. For the bead head, it's really kind of personal choice. Sky's the limit. But this is an expensive fly, and I'll explain a little bit about that here. So we're going to start off with like a 3/16 tungsten bead. This happens to be a size 4. I'm hoping and praying that oh wait, totally disregard. 93.95 is sitting right in front of me. Had it all prepped at the homestead. Pretty much don't think I can blame squirrels. I think there's something majorly wrong with my internet service provider. And it seems to only affect my house. So I'll just go ahead and debarb that just for good measures. And I'm taking 2 tungsten Insta-Jig beads. And when you guys see this, you're probably going to laugh and be like, oh my gosh. So there's a total of 3 beads. We just push them to the back right away. And I'm going to go ahead and start our fly this way. So this is kind of a philosophy, and you could European this during like salmon fly hatch, stuff like that. It would work out really, really well. So that same kind of, it's like a medium olive. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Trust me, we've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on routers and cabling and everything. I've had I actually think I have the most calls for internet service interruption in the history of my town, and thus far nobody's been able to figure it out. So Loon's been obviously helping me out because I work for them, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to mitigate that. Maybe tell them I want their fiber connection, and then we could have a movie studio at my house or something. That'd be a little bit over the top and ridiculous, but I would never complain. So these antennae are pretty close to even. I do like to leave the fronts a little bit longer than I'm going to leave our tail. And I put those on first underneath the bead, just so they come like a true out of the front kind of a situation. Once I take a few wraps and I restart my thread, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide these Insta-Jig beads kind of into position. And it might be really hard to see, but I always equate it to like being a dentist, I guess, because you know, like if you ever have a filling done, the dentist is like, what can we fit through there? I do a few weird wraps, so I like to leave a little bit of space, not too much, and then we'll go ahead and wrap in that second one. And these are going to get a UV cure treatment over the top. Yeah, but if you can talk Loon into paying for fiber network at my house, that'd be super sick. I don't even know what I can do with a fiber network, but I'm pretty sure it'd be amazing. I think only government agencies in my area have such things. But because I live by a school and they're a government agency, it runs right next to my house. So I'm going to take some more of our same, like it's like a pale light olive super floss rubber leg type material. And we'll go ahead and create a tail. Let's see if comments on Instagram started to work yet. Nope, no love. So I'm going to use some of this olive, and I have a little bit of brown, and it's actually a colorway that I'll fish. So typically I do like brown and brown, but I'm going to do olive underbody, so you can see like kind of a not as heavy version is right here. So kind of similar. It's like an olivey brown like looking body, but it'll work for the purpose of what we're doing. And again, guys, I apologize for dropping my normal material for this on the way over here. Might be sitting in the front seat of my car. We don't really know. But that would be the Vivus body quill is kind of my normal material here. And then I just use this set. I'm going to use this second piece of like a light brown super floss for kind of a rib, which is where I would use the tubing, which also has 100% eluded me in my escape to provide you guys with this live stream. So I'm going to kind of use the same body material. I've tied stones like this before, I think, on Loon Live using this material, so it's kind of a really simple substitute. I do prefer the translucency of the Vivus body quill, or over this personally. But we can get a pretty similar build and everything like that here. I'm pretty sure there's a video already up on YouTube of me tying it 100% correctly without the woes of internet shenanigans. So you can see I'm kind of creating some segmentation. I don't really worry about perfection here as much as one would think. This is going to go deep into a plunge pool, and hopefully fish are going to eat it really quick. I'm going to save these guys for legs, just so you guys know what's going on here. This is a little bit of a lighter brown that I really wanted, but you're kind of going to start to get the idea of the segmentation. So we'll just segment that up best as possible. Little squeak there, nothing too bad though. And next up, this is a, I'll show you guys the placard for it. It's a red fox squirrel dubbing, and it's a Dave Whitlock colorway. It's a really, really cool colorway. He uses it for his little red fox squirrel nymph, and well, I don't know if that's his nymph, but that's the nymph that it's kind of designed around. And it's just one of my favorite. I use it for a lot of my, use it on some PMDs and all sorts of different critters. So I'm going to take these guys in half as I normally do. The only thing I do different is I pull that till it comes through the body and is pointing back out. I just really want those rear legs to kind of point backwards. More of the red fox squirrel dub here. Like I said, guys, if I'm moving just a little bit quick, I apologize first and foremost. So you can see I'm going to start pulling this dubbing, but these videos are available up on the YouTube already. If not, they'll be up there in the next day or two because I've already shot them. So next up, more legs, and you can see I put a little bit of dubbing down first, and that's just going to kind of help me guide where I want these. And you're going to have to really question your commitment to how many jig beads you want to put on this. I mean, 3 tungsten beads, it weighs a ton. You don't need to use any adjunct weight with this fly, even in the heaviest of runoff. It is absolutely the runoff machine here. I mean, Charlie Craven does it. He has the 2-bit hooker that uses double tungsten beads, and I'm just using 3. How to do one better than Charlie. At least in my own mind, right? So I'll use again some more of this red fox squirrel dub, and you'll see I'll pull that second set of legs back, and I just kind of really start cranking that dubbing down in there. And that's going to just push these legs backing out, and what I'll do next is I just advance my thread up front. So we'll be able to create the next dubbing station, and that's really kind of the gist of how this pattern works and is tied. So I'll do another dubbing noodle. Other thing I like with this SLF blend from Davey Whitlock is it's compressible, it's buggy, you can comb it out if you so desire, and ultimately it works really well for a ton of different patterns. So you can see I'm just like cramming dubbing in here to make it really solid. So it becomes a really super solid fly. And I'll go ahead and whip finish right here. We'll give it 2, even though we're going to come in here and UV cure the potatoes out of this. Because why not? So right now what I do is I come in here, and like I told you, it's a really cool spiky dubbing, but I really just work in there and push down as much of that as possible, and I'll actually turn the light on. And I'm just going to build a base with some flow, and I just spread it out. Now, like I said, I'll leave the light on. So now we're going to come in with some thin, and we'll just build this wing case. And this is the Fergie Stone because it's got lumps. It's a lumpy stone. It's a really nerdy name, but I found it kind of amusing in like a dad joke sort of way. I'll go ahead and create like a really cool big bump. over the back, epoxy back, kind of an homage to Mercer, and we'll go ahead and cure this up. Last but not least, I just like to cut these so that they can't bind in the hook shank too badly. So there you guys go. This is a little bit more of an olive colorway than I'd prefer, but it kind of gets the point across as far as how the fly would overall look. And a ton of movement, not a lot of, you know, physical mass to the fly, so it's going to sink very quickly and get down. We'll zoom out here. There I am. So, anyways, yeah, man, that's about it for this evening. A few really basic patterns, pretty good box fillers, and hope you guys enjoyed watching. That's what I did when I was a firefighter and paramedic, man. It was just all about improvising. I appreciate it, Ed. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, we'll catch you guys back here in 2 weeks. We've already got a bunch of flies done, and hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll catch you soon. Like I said, follow up on YouTube. Most of the videos will be there. Alrighty, thanks guys, appreciate it. And we'll check you later.